Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Knowledge Central. And in this series, I'll be talking about different books, and especially the summaries and the takeaways from different books. And usually I start with uh, especially the actionable insights where we can quickly apply that in our lives and yeah, make a difference. So yeah, let's go on. And in this video, we'll be talking about The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. It's a small book, but I think these 7 points are pretty valuable. And especially even if we are able to put 2 or 3 points in our daily life and slowly try to expand the portfolio of these habits, it would make a huge difference. And trust me, just with one of it, I think I started to see a lot of difference, and you would clearly able to see it, right? So let's start. And as usual, I'll be starting with one of my favorite quotes from the book. And this actually sounds a little bit trippy, and especially if uh, if you say it out a bit loud to someone, they might initially stumble upon and think, what exactly is being said? But it goes like this. So the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. So the whole idea is to, you know, have priorities and keep up with that, high priority, or actually be aware and understand what is pretty important in your life, what is the main thing, and try to actually keep it consistently a main thing, and then, make sure you get that done. So it's a pretty deep quote, and I think it might work in a lot of instances, especially if you're in the early stages of a career or, doing your bachelor's or master's. So at every stage, you have the main thing, and it's really important to keep that main thing, the main thing, right? So yeah, let's now move on to the 7 lessons, actually the 7 habits, which he talks to become a highly effective person, right? And the first thing is to be proactive, right? And this helps for any situation. Like, for example, if you are in a team where, you have given a particular job, and it's really nice, you already, take a lot of things into account. And for example, different what if scenarios. And this works well even if you're on a team project. Imagine in your master's course, or say for in your internship. So it's really important to do the background search and be prepared with probably what's going to happen the next day. And if you're going to work on certain things, make sure that you do the basic foundational homework, and uh already keep the questions ready. What are you going to ask? Say for example, an interview. I think I talked about this point already in other videos where I covered how to be prepared for an interview. Like, you need to do your homework already, right? For example, what are the things which I can stumble upon? What are some things which I should be aware of, especially if I'm working with a team, if I'm working on a project, if I'm talking to a client. So make sure that you do your research well, and be prepared for things which might go a little bit off, or be prepared with the different what if scenarios, instead of being reactive where we respond after certain thing has happened, and then we kind of panic and figure out what can be done, what are the best solution. So if you're prepared, you've already done your research, you already have things and the tips where you already know the things to do and things not to do, and what if different scenarios which you've already planned happen. So the first habit is being proactive, and your day-to-day life activities, or it can be in a professional environment, right? So next is begin with end in mind. And this is one of the points which is really important, at least for me, especially when we think about moving to a position of leadership. Say, for example, if you want to get a promotion, or you want to be a team lead, or you want to take care of a certain group of people, it's really important to have a vision in mind. And this is one of the very important qualities of a leadership. And you need to have your vision and make sure that you translate the vision across your team. And this also, is really important for any small activities. Say, for example, you're doing a small project, doing a small coursework, you're starting something by yourself, like you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to have a business idea. Make sure that you have the vision. And when I mean, or at least what he means by end is, to have the vision and the goal, and make sure that you're super clear with the goal, with the end, so that you can, draw the map towards reaching it. And if something happens, you try different things, you experiment with different things, but the end should probably never change. So make sure that you have a solid vision, simple vision, which can be explained to anyone within your team, to yourself. And, that's really important, especially for being an effective leader. Next is first things first. And this is also in line with the quote, which we saw at the start, keeping the main thing as the main thing. And that's really important. So here we actually try to prioritize, and we clearly know, imagine we have 10 things to do in a day, and our brain is pretty intuitive, and we kind of get the signals, okay, these three are really important. But sometimes we procrastinate or fear, or sometimes think it might take a lot of effort, so push it till the end, and then it might not be done, and then you move to the next day. So it's really important to finish off the high priority things on the checklist. So first things first, you have to address a particular customer, or you have to clear a certain error, debug something which is having a very high priority. Do that first, right? So it's kind of partially deals with the prioritization of the important things, and make sure that you finish off that first, check, so that the rest of things fall in line, or you have a lesser pressure to the other things. And the first things, or the important things, the top things, might be a little heavy, might be a little challenging, but especially at the start of the day or start of the project, it's really important to finish off that, so that you use your time effectively. At the same time, the rest of the things fall in line, and the other things might be a simpler, easier tasks. So you eventually will be anyway doing it, even if you're tired at the end of the day, even if you're a little bit distracted, you'll be able to do that. So make sure we keep the first things first. So the fourth is to think win-win, and this is another important thing. So this is one of the important things, at least I feel, in terms of having a communication, especially dealing with conflict, or say, for example, if you are talking to a client as a consultant, or if you're trying to sell something, or if you want to say, for example, train someone. So everywhere. So these are all the very simple, small examples I think about. And let's take an example of you want to sell something. So the idea is, you just don't try to, sell the product. Okay, this product does this product does this has this features, blah, blah, blah. Might not work that much. So this is also a way to influence people. What would the other person, or the other side of the other party gets from buying that. So it's also really important for sales, and especially for consulting jobs. So what will the other person get? What will the client get? And it's really important to convince them from their perspective, and how will they win if they buy the product. Sorry. And of course, if they buy the product, they're gonna pay for that, and it's a win for you. But we need to always think about, what does the other person get, irrespective of anything. Say, for example, if you want your friends to go to a movie with you, if you're planning something with your friends, we need to always make sure that we think for a collective win. What will I get, what will the other person get, and we make sure that to balance it out. And I don't want to extend this video longer, but another quick example which is coming to my mind is also relationships, right? Especially when you have a conflict in relationship, it's really important to deal that by putting everyone in the same team, because you're all in the same team. You all want to collectively win. You all want to get to a mutual conclusion where both the parties are happy. So make sure you always think win-win. What will you get? What will the other person get? What will the other group of people get? And make sure that go with that common grounds, and you'll always get a really mutually beneficial result at the end. And this is what we need to also think about, because we can't be too selfish, and we can't be too selfless. It's a very, very important gray area to be in that win-win zone, right? Quite important. So moving on. And this is also really important, especially when you're going up your career ladder, or if you want to be really effective, the first and foremost important thing is to listen, right? And this is another important thing, or an important part of communication as well. It's a very crucial element. You just, you know, shouldn't aim to put forward your point in a beautiful vocabulary or in a wonderful accent. Doesn't matter. The idea is to first listen and understand the other person. First try to, wait, listen, understand what the other person is trying to say, empathize, and, try to put yourself in the other person's shoes, and then explain and try to, put your point forward after validating that you have listened to them. So that's about this point, or this habit. Always understand, always have empathy, give a really high priority to empathy. And one of the things when I'm talking about this also comes to my mind is Dwayne Johnson. I think it's a pretty famous personality. It's a really nice actor. He actually recently, I saw a video where he tells a quote. It's sometimes, nice to be important in life, but it's more important to be nice to everyone. So make sure that you're nice, you have empathy, try to understand others, and then make sure, you're being understood, right? This is, again, a little deep point, and it's also psychologically beneficial, especially if you're growing up the other in order to be effective, right? And yeah, second last is synergize. And what does the author mean by this is, don't always try to, win alone, or for example, put everything on your shoulders and try to carry that. It's really important to understand and analyze not only about yourself, so not only being self-aware, but also be aware of everyone around you, everyone's talent, especially if you're working in a team and if you want to grow in order to be highly influential, highly effective, especially when you grow as a leader, a business leader, or business manager, or whatever in your life, right? You need to understand your team and how to make the best use of your team, attract talents and make sure that, you put in the right ingredients, right specializations, and then make a beautiful product out of it. Instead of, thinking that, okay, I have to do everything, I have to make sure that this is done, this is done. Try to delegate. And, this is a whole, another concept of, leadership, on what type of leadership is the best. It depends on the people. So it starts with being aware of your team, right? Being aware of everyone around you, including your family, including your friends, including your colleagues. So make sure that you synergize, for, things, something's personal, but at the same time, if it's also professional, make sure that you pull the right talent and then, mix it well to get a beautiful product out of it. Last but not the least, one of my favorite is to focus on sharpening the saw. And this again, ties up with a famous quote where, you get a certain time to chop down a tree. You need to actually not immediately start chopping the tree and putting a lot of hard work, sweat, and efforts. But even if you spend a good amount of time, or at least 10% of your time sharpening this saw, you'd be able to do a lot more. Again, it's also sharpening the skills which you're going to apply, like for example, learning. Again, it links a little bit to understand everything. Is like sharpening the saw and then move forward. So make sure that if you're going to pitch something, if you're going to present something, if you're trying to work on something, make sure that you have the right skills, you develop the right competencies, you develop the right network, have the right vision. So everything is, again, overlapping, sharpening the saw, and then go for it. So, just again, be as much prepared as possible before actually entering into that zone. So that's it with sharpening the saw before you move forward. And I think with this, we come to the end of this video of the 7 habits of highly effective people by Stephen Conway. And this gives a very short summary of all the points which we talked about. And I try to give a few examples as much as possible. And I hope this had a little impact in you as well. So yeah, so please feel free to let me know if I've missed something, or if you want me to expand or explain more, because each point in itself can be explained much further, as Stephen Covey do in his book. So yeah, let me know how's it, and also feel free to comment on what book should I probably review next, or want quick insights from. Hope loved the video, and thanks for watching. Thanks for your time, and yeah, see you guys soon in another video. Good luck. Bye bye.